So the thing we're going to be exploring today, we're building the practice up. So we're doing bit by bit and adding each session, we're adding a little bit more. And today's session is about the edge that we can use in the body to A, stay safe, and to B, help us practice this process of becoming aware, and not just practice the process, but actually becoming aware of what exactly is going on in our body. And the key here is to respect the body, and I'm going to talk us through the edge in a minute, and also not to judge it. So don't, and I may be repeating what you already know, but it's worth repeating. It's to make sure that when you come to an edge, when you feel stiff, when you're unable to go into the posture that in the way that you think you should, don't judge, and watch what comes up. What self-talk comes up. And if you find yourself judging, don't judge that either. Because it kind of gets into a loop. We have a habit, and we just recognize that this is a pattern that unfolds for us, and we just practice letting that go. So I also want to, before we get into just the physical practice of the edge, I want to highlight again something that I mentioned in the little article on the silence and the importance of sound. And it's this beautiful way of explaining the nature of reality that's in one of the tantric philosophies, which is the Trika school of Tantra. And they have this beautiful metaphor around sound and word of what the nature of reality is. So they talk about, and we've heard it in Buddhism, we even hear it in Western science, there's this big bang that starts everything. So something non-physical starts the universe and our physical reality. And the way they explain it is that, the impulse of consciousness sparks into the unbounded ground of being, which then gives rise to material reality. And I'm always reminded when I'm cooking and I'm maybe making a mayonnaise, I can make this movement and not a lot happens unless I have my little tool inside the oil and the egg. And when I move, something happens. The oil, the unbounded being becomes a mayonnaise. So we have the movement, the spark, but we also need this potential of materiality in which that spark can become material. And so that's just another thing about when you cook, what comes up. But so they have this spark. They explain that this spark arises in us. So we can feel it. We can feel a thought coming up. It just appears in our head, or or a desire, and we think, oh gosh, I could really do with a cup of coffee. And you've now got a real precise thought that's arisen from just some impulse somewhere. And you're now feeling, really, I want to have it. Or you're feeling, I shouldn't have it. You're having feelings around it. And then you might speak it. So it's now a physical sound wave in our environment. And that sound wave, not just the physical wave, but also the intellectual content of that, which is also a wave, but a different vibration, hits someone else's ear and someone else's intellect. And they will respond. So they're triggered into a response, or we receive responses from others. We might then go and make a cup of coffee. So now something really physical is happening in the world. We're using electricity, we're making demands on the market. Physical things start to happen from this little impulse. And in the new age, there's often, we say, oh, we create our reality, we're responsible for everything that happens to us. Of course, we are in a certain way. But we're also completely impacted by things that go on around us. So the vibrations, the sounds, the impulses hit us, and then that triggers another response in us. So although we do create, we're constantly co-creating. And it reminds me really of this time we're in with this, pandemic. It's many of us are feeling quite heavy, quite stuck. quite surprisingly affected by it all, even though we're probably normally, quite able to deal with a little bit of restriction here and there. But this worldwide vibration does have an effect on us. And so it's always good to remember that we do create, but we also respond. And so as we're doing this practice and we're coming to our center, we're strengthening our inner vibration, that which goes out. And the stronger that is, the less we become affected by that which comes in. And so I'm going to move into the edge. So as we're practicing this morning, you might see the correlation. You might see where things arise in the body. And the point in our physical practice of the edge is really to really begin to understand the different textures in our body, and not just the physical part of our body, but the emanations that come from our mind during the practice. So a thought pops in our mind, or we break wind. It's the same thing, we move into a posture, we break wind. We move into a posture and emotion comes up. It's the same thing. And what I'd like us to really become familiar with through the practice of the edge is that everything is just on the spectrum of consciousness becoming material reality and back. So everything that goes on in our body, in our mind, can be investigated in that way. It can be investigated as a pattern or a frequency that we wish to continue or that we don't wish to continue. It's a song we wish to sing, or it's a song we don't wish to sing. It's a habit of contracting that we wish to continue or not continue. And so as we're practicing with the body, we don't always have to think about that, but it comes back, it joins us, it joins our body to our mental and spiritual reality. So these two opposite things become unified. That's the purpose of this way of practicing. So that now moves me on to how we use the edge. Those of you who've been here, you know what I'm talking about. The edge in the body is any place where we come to feel a resistance. And that's a physical resistance, it could be a mental resistance, it's the simplest thing. For example, when we rotate the arm, if we do it slowly, we can feel the place where we can't move it further back, so that's an edge. And we can feel if we really slow down, so we've moved past this edge and we've respected it. We don't have to push through the edge. We've noticed, all right, I can't go further. And then I move on, and now I'm going this way, and I notice a different sensation. This could be a pain in the muscle, or it could be congestion. It feels like liquid that's beginning to solidify. It's the juices in the muscles that are not being moved because we're not moving correctly, or it's an old injury. So these edges appear everywhere. When you turn your head, you will feel the different edges as you're moving past the muscles and the tendons in the base of your skull. You start to feel the different textures of all of these edges. And also when, for example, we move into a posture, and this is particularly important because this is what keeps us safe in the yoga practice. So we're moving into a posture, we're folding forward, and all of a sudden we start to feel a tightening. The body is going into protective spasm. It doesn't feel safe. So we might feel it at the back of our thighs, or we might feel it here. And we can go to the edge until it's beginning to be uncomfortable. So let's say it's here. It could be back here. Many people start back here. And then you can think, oh, right. So I'm breathing on this edge now. And I can decide, right, this edge is actually a physical limitation because my belly is too big. I can't go any further this morning. Or it is... it's just a thought that I can't go any further. And as I'm breathing out and relaxing, I notice it opening. So all we're ever doing with the edge is to find it. And then we come back a little bit to feel the spaciousness. And then on the out breath, we relax into the edge. And we just feel the sensation. We just become aware of the nature of that edge, the different texture, what it holds. Edges often hold emotions. It's like a knot in the body. So you might have emanations in forms of thought. It might just trigger a type of thought. And you can notice every time I come to this edge, a strange thought comes up, a particularly the same thought. So this is the kind of thing that in any yoga posture, there are plenty of edges. So there's plenty to do and watch. And we're going to explore it in connection with the breath. And that's what I'm going to talk us through. So this morning, we're going to start again our yoga practice with the breath. So if you can get ready and sit comfortably on the mat, close your eyes, and just bring your awareness to that space deep in the earth. There's a radiant heat down there, nice orange glow like a glorious fire. And it sits there in the same place, very still. It radiates out this heat. It's the unbounded ground of being. It's that mother of the universe. And really touch into what that feels like for you. Give it your color. Is it a more orange or is it a dark red? What is it for you this morning? It can change from day to day. And then we move our attention through our body, along our spine, up through our crown, into the heavens, way up in the universe. There's this cool, clear light, that awareness, that spark of consciousness. Again, it's a still point, it's a different energy, it has a different color. Maybe it's a clear blue-white light, maybe it is a purple light for you. Give it your color, give it a texture. And so we have these two polar opposites sitting above our crown and below our base, connecting us to this mother-father energy, connecting us to this process of the two becoming one in our body, and we are the manifestation of that union. And so now allow your breath to move up and down your spine. Beginning to take control, Ujjayi breath, restricting your glottis. With the next out breath, really allow the breath, your shoulders to relax, your chest to relax, your belly to empty, squeeze it out, and touch into that earth energy. The in-breath rises, your belly fills, your chest rises, that cool, that hot energy rises in your body through the crown, reaching up for that cool, clear energy, melting it into your body. So we keep on the out breath, bringing that clear, cool energy in. The Tibetans call it tigle, light of awareness, melts into the body. So the heat from below, the clarity from above, joining in our body. Really strong breath now. Really move that breath. Allow it to move as far as you can. If it doesn't go above your crown, don't worry. It is connected to those two opposite divine energy points. Three-stage yogi breath now. Out breath. Squeeze the belly button. Hold still for half a second. Touch into that stillness. In breath rises. Bring that energy up. Fill your belly. Warm your heart. Rise through your crown. Reaching for the heavens. Breath changes direction. Out breath comes, allowing that clear light of awareness to melt into our inner space. It's bringing light. It's clearing things out. And as we're coursing through that inner channel, bringing the two energies in, the next in-breath, notice how you're expanding, your belly expands, your chest expands, your spine rises. On the out-breath, allow that light of awareness to come into your crown and then swirl around your spine, loosening any debris, swirling around, draining away down into the ground again, touching into the earth. Next in-breath, allow your arms to rise, your hands with your breath, slowly feeling the weight of the air on your palms, touching into the heavens. Out-breath comes, turn the hands around, and then follow down. And you can maybe feel how your hands have a bit of support as they're coming down. Touching into the earth, stop moving, in-breath rises, pulling the hands up. And you might feel this sort of assistance you're getting in this movement. Reach nice and high, nice tall stretch. Stop moving when the breath changes direction, then out breath moves, allow the hands to follow. And perhaps you can feel that breath of the earth helping you move your hands. Rising, you can feel the weight of the air on your hands. You can feel the breath pushing you up. Out breath comes, you are supported. You don't fall down so fast. It's very easy to move in rhythm with this breath of the earth. So let's just honor that for a moment. Maybe you can start to feel your hands radiating a little bit more. And now on the next in-breath, we're touching into the heavens. On the out-breath, we're breathing down our arms into the shoulder joint and we're rotating the arms backwards, really filling the joint with this fecund energy that we're churning in our inner vessel. We're bringing both energies in and we're turning it into an energy that we breathe into the joint. In-breath comes, arms rise. Out-breath again. Breathe into the shoulder joint. Any space that's been created by the movement, fill it with that golden nectar. Touch into the earth. In-breath comes, arms rise. Spine elongates, out-breath, breathing again into the shoulder joint, really feeling the motion, feeling all of the sensations, all of the little edges, all the tendons, all the muscles, honoring every sensation that your body is sending out to you. Stop moving when the breath changes direction. In-breath comes, arms rise up. And one more time, one delicious rotation in the shoulders, and we're squeezing that fresh energy as we're moving into the tissue, into the fascia, into the muscle fiber. And then on the next in-breath, the arms come up the other way. So the arms go up behind us. It feels different. We can feel the shoulder blades coming together. We reach high, maybe allow your heart to reach for the heavens. Out breath comes, we bow forward. And you can feel the stretch across the spine. The extender muscles either side of the spine, in the lower back. It feels like you're wringing out the dirt. In breath comes, and becomes a little bit of a wave action. I want you to kind of go with your breath. Allow the breath to move you and really feel this wave action that we're creating as we're moving our arms in rhythm with the breath. As we're breathing in, we're reaching high. Out breath comes, we're relaxing, we're allowing things to soften and to let go. And on the next out breath, the arms come down to rest either side of the hips. And then the in-breath rises again. As it's reaching your neck, start rotating your head on your shoulders. Remember to stop moving when the breath changes direction, and then continue with the breath before you continue with the head. And really feel into how far you can go and how you have congestion in that part. Often, if you're not kind of aware, you can really feel the difference between the tendon as you move past it and the space between the tendon, the congestion in there. So as you're moving past, you might feel clicks, cracks, you might feel your face twitching. And the deeper and stronger you can make your breath, the more focus you can give on the out breath to all of those sensations, softening these edges, breathing in that nectar, that golden honey that we're creating through our breath, the union of the two poles becoming manifest in an energy that physically changes your body. Like I said yesterday, my first yoga teacher, he healed his paralysis with this. He regenerated his nervous tissue by constantly blowing into the space with that energy, bringing the breath in, bringing the consciousness down, creating that fecund energy and blowing it into the spaces with awareness that weren't responding to his instructions. Next in breath, we change direction. And now on the out breath, really allow your awareness to drop, following your breath deep into the earth. Squeeze the belly button, and then on the in breath, the breath rises again. And as it's extending, it's filling your belly, it's lifting your chest. Find a space where it feels natural to just come forward into cat cow. Stop moving when the breath changes direction, and then continue moving until you are in this neutral posture, straight back. Couple of breaths, just settling in. And now we're moving our spine in this wave action. And remember, we're deconstructing this movement. We're making it slow. We want to feel every step of it. So in breath comes. Relax your buttocks. Tail goes up. Belly drops towards the mat. Heart opens forward. Head goes back, squeezing the neck. Hold it there. Out breath comes. Tuck the tail in. Engage the buttocks. Keep your neck squeezed. Pull your belly button up. Bring your chin to the chest. Hold it. In breath comes. Relax buttocks. Tail goes up. Chin stays at the chest. Belly drops towards the mat. Then heart opens forward. And then the head goes back, squeezing the neck. And then out breath comes. Tuck the tail in. Engage the buttocks. So I want you to do this in your own time now. Remember to always start at the base of the spine. Slow it down. Notice each step. And see if you can do it in a way that you start at the base rather than in the middle. What we often do is our tail goes up and our neck goes back at the same time. So we want to do it one step at a time. It's good practice to start noticing the steps in the movement. So we're really moving our spine in a wave pattern. It's actually a pattern of movements. It's a sequence of movements. We're taking conscious control over how we execute it. Instead of allowing it to run its own course without our awareness, without our agreement, we are now practicing taking control of that particular pattern of movement. Allow yourself to make bigger movements now, maybe left and right, all the time. Really slowing down, because this is where, if you start moving laterally, you can get into spasm in your sacrum. So slow down. If you feel a spasm coming up, slow down, breathe through it. The spasm is an edge. Breathe through it. Let it go and see whether you can move through it or whether you need to adjust the path of the rotation. Really get to know your inner universe here. We are the sculptor of our inner space. Really listen to the body. We hold a lot of tension around the sacrum, this sacred bone at the base of our spine. And when we move in a way that we're not used to, it can easily go into spasm, the muscles around it. And what we're doing is just finding the spasms. This is a good thing because we're becoming aware. We are able to notice, oof, if I do that, it starts to tense up. Our body tenses up because it's not feeling safe. So you wouldn't push a child into a dark forest if it doesn't feel safe. So don't do that. Slow down, breathing in and out. And now on the next out breath, we come into child. Continuing to breathe. Long, strong breath. Again, in breath comes, it's rising along your spine. You can feel your belly expand. It's pushing into your thighs. It's expanding your hips. Maybe you can feel it. As it's rising, it's lengthening your spine. The weight of your head on the mat allows the spine to lengthen, creating space between the vertebrae. Out breath, really blow along the spine into the areas that you felt are tight or that won't let go. It's a really safe posture in which to practice letting go and melting into the mat. On the out breath, allow yourself to melt, become heavier, softer. On the in breath, as you stay soft in your body, you can feel the breath expanding you. And now on the next in breath, we come back onto all fours. Tail goes up, buttocks relax, heart opens forward, and we're preparing for downward dog. Tuck the feet in, and then the out breath comes. Engage your core. Keep the tail tucked up and push from your thighs into downward dog. On the out breath, heart drops towards the mat. Don't overdo it. Make sure you notice any tight spots, any tensions. And now that we're in downward dog, I can't check it for you, but your buttocks are relaxed, your tail is reaching for the heavens, and your heart is dropping towards the mat. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, do so. If you need to protect your ankle, make sure you don't cause any more damage. And with each out breath, we can feel the edges in this posture. So we might feel it in the back of our thighs. And on the out breath, we allow ourselves to soften. In breath, we stay there. Filling up, out breath, dropping the heart towards the mat. On the next in breath, we bring the right leg forward into forward lunge. And really, if you might want to watch me here, I'm deconstructing this movement for you. So in breath, out breath, heart into the mat, and then the in breath comes. And here we have this tilting of the hips again. So the hips start at the base, tail tucks in, buttocks engage, belly button pulls towards the spine, so I'm engaging my core, and that allows me to bring the knee forward and place it in front. So try that on the out breath. Then here we are in a lunge, breathing a few times. With the in breath, the heart opens forward. Out breath, see if your base can drop down towards the mat a little bit. In breath again. The back leg is nice and straight, strong. And we're supporting our torso with our arms. So make sure that your back is not strained. On the next in-breath, we go back into downward dog. Out breath, heart towards the mat. Next in-breath, we come into left forward lunge. So again, start at the base of the spine. Buttocks engage, belly comes towards the mat, and knee comes forward. And then in-breath comes, heart opens. We open our hips. Next out breath, again, we come back into downward dog. In breath, knees to mat. Out breath into child. And let's touch base with our breath again, making sure that we are aware of the two poles, those divine energies up above and deep down below, the source of our strength in the earth, and the source of our intuition, our clarity, our consciousness in the heavens. And again, on the next in-breath, we come on all fours. Breathe ourselves into downward dog. So remember, in-breath, tail goes up, buttocks relax, heart goes forward, feet tuck in. Out breath comes, engage your core and push from the thighs up, heart towards the mat. In breath comes, left leg forward. Remember to deconstruct that movement for you. And then with the next out breath, right leg comes forward. We're in forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to. And then on the in breath, bending the knees, coming into chair pose. And as we're rising up, the hips straighten, engage the buttocks, reach high for the heavens, strong buttocks. And on the out breath, hands into the heart space. And now we're standing up, allowing this breath to move up and down in a straight line now. Again, really touching into the heaven, into the earth, allowing that breath to run up and down your spine. On the in-breath, you can feel the expansion. Feel your head. If you need to touch your crown, make sure you can feel your crown opening. Out breath, really focus that laser beam of awareness down your throat, into your spine, swirling around the vertebra, really washing away all of that debris. We've moved our spine now, things have loosened. We can allow it to drain away. So let's do a few sun salutations. Again, with as much focus on deconstructing the movement and on the sensations of the edges that arise in this sequence. I'm going to talk us through the first one. In breath rises. As the breath comes into the hips, engage the buttocks, belly fills. Breath rises, hands rise to eye height. Out breath comes, bend the knees, scoop down. In breath comes, bend the knees again, scooping up, lifting all that energy up. And as we're straightening, we engage the buttocks, we reach high, bend back a bit, buttocks very strong, that supports your back. And then on the out breath, the arms rotate. We're now familiar with the shoulder joints and the edges in there. We bend forward, pivoting at the hip. Touching the ground if you can, bend your knees if you need to. In breath comes, heart opens forward, right leg goes back. Out breath comes, left leg into downward dog. Stop moving when the breath changes direction. In breath comes, knees to mat. Out breath into child. In breath, scooping along the mat with your heart. into cobra. Engage your buttocks as your back bends backwards. You want to make sure you're safe. Out breath comes, tuck the feet in, engage your core, lift into downward dog. In breath comes, left leg swings forward. Remember, deconstruct the movement. Out breath, right leg forward, forward fold. In breath, bend the knees, scooping up, reaching high, engage your buttocks as you're bending backward. It feels nice. Out breath comes, forward fold. In breath, left leg into lunge. Out breath, right leg into downward dog. In breath, knees to mat. Out breath, into child. In breath, scooping forward into cobra. Engage your buttocks as you're bending backwards. Out breath, tuck your feet in, engage your core into downward dog. In breath, right leg, forward lunge. Out breath, left leg, forward fold. In breath, curling up. Engage your buttocks as you straighten up. Reach high. Back bend, feels good. Out breath, hands into the heart space. And one more. In breath comes. Arms rise to eye height. Out breath, bend the knees, scoop down. In breath, scooping up. Engage your buttocks as you bend back. Out breath, forward fold. In breath, right leg goes back into lunge. Heart opens forward. Out breath comes. Left leg back into downward dog. In breath, knees to mat. Out breath into child. In breath, scooping forward into cobra. Engage your buttocks as your back bends backwards. Out breath, tuck your feet in downward dog. In breath, left leg into forward lunge. Out breath, right leg forward fold. In breath, curling up, reaching high. Engage your buttocks. Keep your back safe. Out breath, forward fold. In breath, left leg back. Out breath, right leg into downward dog. In breath, knees to mat. Out breath into child. In breath, scooping forward into cobra. Out breath, tuck your feet in downward dog. In breath, right leg forward. Out breath, left leg forward fold. In breath, curling up, reaching high. Out breath, hands into the heart space. Keep breathing. And again, touch into the two polar opposites. Become aware of the movement of your breath, joining the two with each breath that we make. On the next in-breath, we come sideways to the mat. Feet about a leg length apart. And we prepare for warrior. This beautiful posture. On the next in-breath, the arms rise up, floor parallel to the floor. On the out-breath, look towards your right, turn your right leg forward and go into lunge. You want to make sure that your knee is above your ankle and your thigh is parallel to the floor. With each in-breath, we bring in energy through the legs. The back leg is strong, tethered to the ground. Out breath, we blow that energy into the muscles that are working. we're pulling in opposite directions. Our eyes are wide open. We look across the middle finger. On the next in-breath, the front leg straightens. On the out-breath, we turn the other side. Make sure your knee is above your ankle. You don't want to strain your knee. For those of you, if it's difficult, this posture, just stand and breathe. So in this posture, we're pulling in opposite directions. It reminds us we can hold the middle ground. We can deal with paradox, with uncertainty. On the next in-breath, front leg straightens, out-breath, turn to the center and fold forward. Gently, gently fold forward. This is where you really want to watch your edge. Keep your back straight. So the idea here is tail, again, buttocks relaxed, tail is pushing up, back is straight. And on the out breath, we move to our edge. However far we can go this morning. Bend your knees a little bit perhaps, and just explore how the edges move as you're adjusting your posture a little bit. On the next in-breath, we walk the feet back to the center. And on the out-breath, we bend our knees and come sitting down on the mat with the legs apart in front of us. And so even sitting like that, we might be feeling various edges. The inner thigh is where we hold a lot of shame, where we feel very vulnerable. So we don't really want to push ourselves beyond what is comfortable. And we really want to take time to investigate how this posture feels in this simple way. We are a tripod, our legs are out in front of us, and imagine a kangaroo tail behind you. And we have the torso, the spine, the body nice and straight, supported by these three legs. And as we're breathing, just see whether with the out breath you can let go at the back of your thighs. You can let go of your shoulders, let them relax. And so that we find this natural point of natural balance. It takes very little effort to sit in this way. And it allows us to really feel the breath moving through our center. And now, with the next in-breath, we bring the left arm in a big circle up above and feel again the air in your palm as you're moving and breathing that arm up into the heavens. Stop moving when the breath changes direction. Feel yourself touching into that light energy above. It's permeating your fingers. It's like you're soaking it up. And then on the out breath, look towards your knee. Bring your right shoulder towards your right knee. Slowly, slowly. Only as far as feels comfortable until you feel an edge, wherever that edge is. And then make yourself comfortable. Use your other hand to make yourself comfortable. You want to be coming back from the edge on the in-breath to a place where you can feel the edge relaxing. And then on the next out breath, you move slowly towards the edge, supporting yourself, and keep saying, relax, relax. So you're bringing the breath into the edge, softening and opening. And on the next in-breath, you stay there, and you can feel as your body expands, because it's filling with breath, you can feel the edge a little bit more keenly. Out breath comes, breathing along your spine into the tight space, relaxing it. So let's do that with 3 breaths, playing with this edge, the hardness of the edge, and the spaciousness of the edge in front. And then again, as you're moving and breathing and relaxing and softening into the edge, you can feel the edge change. It starts to move. And if you're feeling the tightness, your body is holding on, it's trying to protect you, it says there's danger there, there's injury, respect your body. You're working on the edge, that's the key. On the next in-breath, we gently come up. Let the breath lead the arm. Out breath comes, left arm comes to the side. In breath comes, and the right arm comes up in a nice big circle. It's bringing that earth energy as an offering up into the heavens, and it soaks up that clear, cool light of awareness. And with the out breath, bring the left shoulder to the left knee, up and until we feel an edge. And when we have the edge, make sure you support yourself. In this case, the alignment is not so important. The issue is we want to feel the edge. So we want to use ourselves in a way we can, any hands we have, the 2, to find a place where we can support ourselves, that we can feel the body relax on the edge. So we want to make the body feel safe on the edge. And so, you might need to lean back or lean forward, really experiment with that edge to a place where you can feel safe, where the body doesn't go into protective spasm. And that's where you breathe, in and out, feeling the expansion as you're breathing in. On the out breath, blowing through your crown, down along the spine, into the tight area, and opening and softening. And you have support with your arms. It allows you to just explore gently, pushing on that door, blowing it away. It might not be a hard door. It might just be a little bit of fog. And as you're breathing into it, the fog lifts. You bring the light. The sun burns it away. And on the next in-breath, we come back up, touch into the heavens, stop moving when the breath changes. Out breath comes, allow the hands to come down now in front of your temple gate. Keep breathing. Notice whether you're holding in the back of your thighs or in your shoulders as you're sitting there. With the out breath, let go what you can let go, without falling over, of course. So this is this balance of tension and softness, balance of strength and vulnerability. This is what we develop as we're practicing in this way. So I want to remind you here, this is a beautiful posture. It's one of my favorite. We have the temple entrance, the temple gate, our perineum. In women, we have an energetic center just outside between our thighs. We have nothing physical there. It's an energetic center of creativity. In men, they have that center. Their genital organs are in that place. On the other side of the temple gate, on the inside, behind the belly button, in women we have an energetic center there, as well as a physical organ, the womb. For men, it is just an energetic center. And so this posture, this fold that we're going to do now, just imagine it is the union of inner and outer creative centers. You could call it the union of mother-father, masculine, feminine, yin and yang. We're bringing the belly towards the temple entrance, gently, gently. And so the way we do it is on the in-breath, we breathe in, we open up. Our heart is open, we're reaching for the heavens while we're grounded through our base. And then the out-breath comes. Bring your belly towards the temple entrance, towards the space in front of you. Keep your back straight. The minute you notice any restriction, any resistance, put your hands on the ground and breathe in and out to make sure you have your hands and your body in a place where the legs start to relax, where your lower back starts to relax. And we have these two creative centers becoming closer. They're already connected, but we're closing the cycle here. On the out breath, we relax and open forward. Back stays straight, and we fold forward as far as we comfortably can. In breath comes, we stay where we are. Out breath, breathing into the tight areas, relaxing them. And millimeter by millimeter, might move further forward into this connection of inner and outer creative centers. On the next in-breath, we come back up, push with the hands gently, and bring the soles of our feet together, heels by the temple gate. Keep breathing, long, strong breaths. On the out-breath, relax your shoulders. On the in-breath, notice where you're tight. Out-breath, that light comes through your crown. Relaxing your throat, relaxing your shoulders, opening your heart, washing your spine, washing your intestines, washing and holding those creative centers, the womb, and out through the perineum into the earth. In-breath comes again, bringing that heat, that radiance up into our belly, into our chest. Everything is set alight. Our throat is glowing through the head, through the crown, like a little fountain reaching up. And on the out-breath again, let's move up and down our inner space, really getting a sensation of the textures and of the type of space that we have in there. They change, there's different places, different levels of light, different levels of contraction or expansion. It is your temple. We are sweeping it. We are throwing open all the doors, fresh air, oxygen. And so with the next out-breath, really breathe that breath along the spine into your knees and allow your thighs to soften and allow the knees to drop towards the mat. You don't have to push them, just allow and focus on the softening and the opening of the thighs and the hips where it is tight, so that they gently, gently melt and relax onto the mat. On the next in-breath, we bring the knees together. On the out-breath, straighten the legs in front of us. Wriggle yourself in sitting comfortably. Ideally, the way we want to sit here is, again, we have the kangaroo tail behind us, we have the legs supporting us in front, and the spine coming up straight, relaxed, the back as relaxed as we can, so we use minimal amount of energy in order to keep us balanced in this position. The shoulders are relaxed, the head is loose, the tongue is relaxed. And so this posture, I'm going to talk us through it. Perhaps you want to watch and just focus on the explanation of how really we work with the edge. And remember, it doesn't matter where the edge is. If the edge is back here, if you're working with the edge, it is as effective as if the edge is, down on the mat. So really, the importance is to find your edge in your body this morning. So don't worry about where you think you should be or where you were yesterday. So on the in-breath, I raise my arms, so please just watch, unless you already know how this works. And then on the out-breath, I fold forward, my back stays straight, I'm bringing my belly towards my thigh, my heart reaches for the ankles. And I move slowly, slowly. With the out-breath, I'm watching, where does my edge appear? So let's say it appears here, and I can feel it back here. So now I found the edge, and I can feel a tension. And actually the hips are tensioning as well. So then in-breath comes, I go back, and I notice the legs let go. And I'm using my hands to really support me. What we want to do is find the space where the body feels safe. The reason you have tension is because the body is protecting you from a sensation that it doesn't want you to feel. This could be old trauma, it could be injury, it could be emotion, it could be a physical limitation that you have. And so you need to pay attention. Your body is saying stuff. We need to become open to all of the things that are signaling the nature of where we are in this present moment. So here I am, I can feel my edge, I have come back maybe a centimeter, and I can feel the spaciousness. So feel into the spaciousness as you're breathing a couple of times. In-breath comes, I'm filling the space, I can feel the edge just around there. Out-breath, I'm blowing through the edge, I'm blowing away any debris and breathing through the spine into the tight area, allowing myself to move towards it. Now I'm exaggerating this. It's probably just a millimeter for you if you're working on the edge. But now I'm a little bit further, and I'm supporting myself maybe this way, because that's making me feel, I can let go somewhere here. Next breath comes in. I touch into the top, stop moving. Out breath comes, I bring that, I follow the breath, I follow with my mind the breath down the spine, into the tight area, forward. And now I'm breathing, feeling my body responding to the breath. I'm softening into the posture. I'm accepting my edges. I can't move any further. It doesn't matter, but I'm in a place where I can let go. With each out breath, I soften into the posture. This is a posture where we want to soften. So I want you to do it if you're not already. I can't actually see, but if you are already doing it, let's breathe a few more times in this posture on your edge, focusing on softening, focusing on noticing all of the little sensations, the sensation of expansion, and as we expand, the belly expands with the breath, we're pushing into the hips, and if we relax, we allow the hips to be pushed open a little bit, softening, allowing the debris to be flushed away. And then it means that our hips can move without having sand in the grinding works. This is, we're basically cleaning and clearing. We're performing inner hygiene here. On the next in-breath, we come back up and we put our hands about 30 centimeters behind our buttocks, and we're going to prepare to move into plank. It's always important when you do your self-practice to make sure you do softening postures but also strengthening postures. Strength without flexibility is rigidity, and flexibility without strength is weakness. So always remember to practice both. And on this posture, out breath drops down into the earth, in breath comes, engage your thighs, engage your buttocks, pull your belly button to the spine, lift your buttocks off the ground. 5 breaths. Next out breath, coming back into sitting up. And then on the in breath, bring your right foot to your left inner thigh. Out breath, settle into the posture. Another little forward fold. In breath comes, arms rise up, back is straight, buttocks are relaxed. Out breath, folding forward, pivoting at the hip. Find your edge. Breathe on your edge. Support yourself in whichever way. Maybe you have to be here in order to feel a way to relax. And then as you're breathing in, you can feel where the edge is. And on the out breath, you breathe into the edge, relaxing it. So we're kind of moving towards what would be a natural alignment in the posture. But actually, what we are doing is we're allowing ourselves not to stick too much to alignment, because we're following our edge. We're looking where the edges are, and then we're going to work with the edges. And you can notice that how you support yourself, even a small change in alignment or in the posture, shows you a different edge that you can work with. On the next in-breath, come back up, and in the same breath, bring that left foot over your right knee. And so now we sit cross-legged. On the next in-breath, bring your left arm behind your sacrum. Out breath, right elbow over the top knee. And in this posture, before we do any twisting, let's remember, keep breathing as I talk, that we have a spine. The spine is made up of vertebra, which it's a bone with a sac of fluid, the disc, another bone, and there's a good reason why we have those discs between the bones. So that when we turn, we don't crunch the bones against each other. So we want to, on the in-breath, expand the spine. So we breathe in, we can feel the head rising, and only when we have expanded and allowed the discs to fill with energy, on the out-breath, we look over our shoulder and gently begin to twist from the lower back. On the in-breath, we don't twist, we just extend upwards. On the out-breath, we look further behind. One more. In-breath, extending upwards. Out-breath, looking further behind. In-breath, extending upwards. Out-breath, unfurling, looking forward. Both legs in front of us straight. On the next in-breath, the left leg, foot comes to the inner right thigh. My spine moves up and down in a very subtle way, but you can imagine. Keep breathing as I talk. We have the vertebra, and as the spine lifts and falls on the out-breath, we're really massaging and moving these discs. We're making them pliable again. We're filling them with this golden energy. And we're really conditioning our spine. If we move slow enough and if we bring our awareness to that process, it really starts to regenerate your spine, the discs. And you can move debris, you can recondition things that have dried up because we've not given it any focus. So the parched places in our body, by breathing and by bringing that nectar of life that we're creating, and by allowing our focus to bring that energy into the place, it's like big raindrops on parched earth. On the next in-breath, arms rise up. Reach for the heavens, really feel it. You know, this is such a simple movement, but there's so much in it. In breath, we're rising, we're reaching for the heavens, we're touching our fingertips, filled with that heavenly Father energy. And then on the out breath, we fold forward, we bring that energy not just inside of us, but outside of us, down towards the earth, meeting. All of these movements, we're constantly joining the two, the mother, the father, heaven and earth, yin yang. On the next in-breath, we come back up and we bring the right foot over the left knee. On the out-breath, we settle into this posture. Again, be sure you stay comfortable. There is no point in forcing your body. We don't need to do that. We are simply looking to become exactly familiar with where we are in our body today, what it is saying, how we are feeling. There's no point pretending it is different, and there's no point in judging where we are. This is it. We have arrived here through every breath we have taken, every decision we have made in the past. This is where it's got us to. So on this point, in-breath comes, right hand goes behind the sacrum in support. Out-breath, left elbow over the top knee. And now on the in-breath, again, the spine elongates. And then on the out-breath, we look over our shoulder, allowing the lower back to twist. It feels nice. In-breath comes again. Spine elongates, out-breath, looking further over our shoulder, seeing how far we have come. All those things we have traversed, the difficulties we have faced successfully, and the difficulties that have challenged us but made us wiser. And those difficulties that have challenged us and we have not dealt with them yet. All those things behind us. In-breath comes, spine elongates. On the out-breath, we look forward, unfurl, and again sit with the legs in front of us. And again, let's breathe a few more times and just touch into how we're feeling. And I mean sensations now in the body. Can we feel a little more connection to the ground? Are we a bit more, are we bigger? Are we in more connection, in more contact? Or are we feeling we're rising up? All of this is good. I'm not saying it must be one way or the other. We are all on different journeys. We need different things that happen in a different sequence to the others. There is no leveling up or leveling down. The only place that we need to come to is that present moment, and it's easy to find. It is in the sensations, it is held in our body. We just need to open that temple gate, allow ourselves to occupy, embody that which we have decided, done and traversed in our past. The body is the physical representation of that. And now on the next in-breath, we breathe ourselves again onto all fours. Remember, stop moving when the breath changes direction. Then move the breath before you move the body. And we come into sitting down on our heels. And again, we are keeping our back straight, and we can feel certain tensions. If it's uncomfortable for you, feel free to support yourself like this or sit on the side, but really aim to come as close to the posture as you can without pushing through an edge that is not open. Lots of injury in yoga is actually done because we are not paying attention to the edges. And if you are on painkillers, you have to be doubly aware of the signals that your body is sending, because you might not be able to feel them all. Out breath, relax the shoulders, relax your head. On the next in-breath, the arms rise up. Again, feel that glory. The heart opens as the arms rise up. We touch into the heavens and we continue onto our knees. Out breath, put the knees maybe a foot apart. And then on the in-breath, we prepare for camel. In-breath comes. Engage your buttocks, really important. The buttocks have to be strong. The hips stay over the knees. And we allow our back to bend backwards. Allow the arms to dangle. What's holding this posture is the strong buttocks. That's what's keeping the sacrum anchored, and it's allowing your back to relax. If you don't have your buttocks strong, you can cause yourself injury because your back goes into spasm. So make sure that you engage your buttocks and then you hold that and you lean backwards. And so the breath here is contorted, twisted. It's really good because we're pushing the breath into different spaces in the body. So just allow yourself to breathe as deeply as you can. Notice the restrictions imposed by this posture. And then on the next in-breath, we come back up. And then on the out-breath, bend the knees. And then fold forward really slowly, because this is where we can easily get spasms that arise from the sacrum. And we want to make sure that you don't just push through them, because you can cause injury that way. And again, we're breathing in and out with the out-breath. Really relax your hips. Allow that part of the body, the lower spine, the sacrum, the hips, to just be softened and melt onto the floor. We are very safe. It's a very safe posture here again. And I want you to, as we're breathing, visualize your sacrum, this triangle at the base of your spine. It has many tendons attached to it, muscles, nerve endings. It has a few holes in it. It's this sort of center of our body, the central commanding point almost. And you can imagine that if the muscles are a little bit uneven in their tension, that the sacrum is misaligned, which causes all kinds of problems, ripples up and down. So just now, as we're breathing, with each in-breath, you can feel the sacrum being sort of stretched a little bit, and then on the out-breath, let go of all of the tensions in the muscles in that area, and gently, gently allow the sacrum to float back into its natural position as far as is safe to do today. We don't want any sudden changes in the body because it confuses everything else. And again, with the in-breath, you can feel the expansion. On the out-breath, let go. Feel the space around the sacrum and allow it to gently, gently float into realignment, into safe realignment. On the next in-breath, we come back onto all fours and we prepare for King Pigeon. On the out-breath, make sure you're nice and grounded on the mat. The hands are under your shoulders, the knees under your hips. And then on the in-breath, the tail goes up, belly drops towards the mat, feet tuck in, heart opens forward. Out-breath comes, we lift into downward dog. And then on the next in-breath, the left leg goes up as far as you can. Out-breath comes, bend the knee, swing the knee underneath you, and your pelvis tips again. The buttocks engage, the pelvis tips towards your belly button, and your knee comes between your hands, and you slip into King Pigeon. And again, you want to make sure you find your edge. So if you have to sit sideways or you have to sit like that, make sure you support yourself so that you can allow yourself to relax. So you need support to do that. Use your hands. And just on each out breath, breathe into your hips, gently, gently, allow them to soften. We're using our shoulders and our arms to give us support. We're allowing our back to relax. You can do this posture in different ways, but you've got to be really clear. We're using, at this stage, our arms to give support so the back can relax. On the next out breath, bending at the arms, we're allowing our spine to curl over our knee like a rope. And it's the arms that are taking the weight, not the back holding the weight. And again in this posture, breathing deeply along your spine, noticing where you're tight on the in-breath, and on the out-breath, breathing into that tight space and relaxing. Think cat. You know, cats, they just melt and soften into the most strangest contortions. On the next in-breath, we bring our hands underneath our shoulders. And again, don't engage your back at this stage. We're using our hands to push up. So in-breath comes, the hands push up the back. And then on the out-breath, slide the left knee into child. And relax your sacrum. Feel into your spine, feel into the ribs along the back. On the out breath, can you soften to kind of melt, let them go? This might actually cause you an ache. It just shows you that you've been holding in a space. On the next in-breath, we come back on all fours. Prepare for downward dog, tail goes up, heart opens forward, feet tuck in. Out breath comes, engage your core, belly comes to the spine, and we push from the thighs. Downward dog. In breath comes, right leg goes up. Out breath, bend the right leg, swing the knee underneath. You can feel the hip following, tuck the tail, tuck the pelvis in, belly button pulls to the spine, knee comes forward, and on the out breath, we settle into King Pigeon. Again, really find your edges. The edge is the jewel in our crowns, because it allows us to become keenly aware of where we are. It's the easiest place to create awareness. And then on the in-breath, you come back a little bit and feel the spaciousness. Out breath, settle into this posture. So breathe a few more times. On the next out breath, we're using our hands and arms to lower the weight of our back over our knees, the spine curling across the leg like a rope. And it's the arms that carry the weight, not the back. On the next in-breath, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push the weight of the body, the torso up. Out breath comes. Come on to your left knee and swing the right knee back into child. And again, touch into any sensations that you can identify along your spine, the sacrum. Really use the breath to move your body. Really take time to feel the sensation of being moved by the breath. Really imagine someone coming and putting their hands on your sacrum now, the heat of those hands. Really allowing a further softening. The muscles are relaxing. Space is created. Heat is flooding into that area. And the sacrum gently, gently dares to move back into its natural alignment. And that heat that you've been feeling is actually heat that radiates from your sacrum. The sacrum is the place which is the battery pack of all that energy that we're bringing up from the earth. And it radiates up along the spine, into the ribs, up into your skull, and meeting that place behind your forehead where the heavenly energies congregate, that bright light, the pineal gland. And those two that touch across this little void. And now on the next in-breath, gently breathe yourself into sitting down again. Move to the right, legs straight in front of you. And then bring your buttocks to your heels. Support yourself with the hands behind you. And again, before we do this little core strengthening posture, on the in-breath, really feel what it feels like when your spine is straight in this posture. And then, on the next in-breath, make sure that when we engage our core, keep breathing before we do it. I'm going to talk you through this here. When we engage our core, there's two ways of doing it. One bears down on our perineum. We want to avoid that. What we want to do is squeeze the belly button to the spine, and it pushes everything in. It's like a belt tightening around the spine. So that's the feeling we want to get. Practice it. So on the out breath, we pull the belly in, we pull the waist in, and that's what we want. So in breath comes, out breath, engage the core. In breath comes, the core stays engaged. We lift the leg off the mat. Arms, if you can, either side, boat pose. On the next out breath, we lie down safely in whichever way you need to move to come lying down flat. We're not done yet. As we're lying down, engage your buttocks. Out breath, let them go. It aligns our sacrum. Again, in breath comes, engage the buttocks. Out breath, relax. Another twist. So in breath comes, bring the heels to your buttocks, knees together, arms out either side. In breath comes, spine elongates. Out breath, drop the knees, both knees to the right, and look over your left shoulder. And this is a really safe way to do the spine twist. Really feel that spine twist in the lower back. And allow the breath to swirl along, really clearing away anything that's being loosened, any dust that's being unhinged from the spine, from our inner space. On the next in-breath, the knees come back to center. And on the out-breath, drop the knees to the left. Look over your right shoulder. And again, enjoy that stretch, that twist in the lower back. And on the next in-breath, we come back to the center. On the out-breath, grab your knees, both knees, and bring them to your chest. Wrap your hands around your knees and just rock left to right, breathing in and out. Notice that as you're grabbing your knees and you're breathing into the thighs, if you hold your thighs tight, the breath is being pushed into other areas in your body, so because it doesn't have any space to go anywhere else. As your thighs are on your belly, left and right. And now for the last few moments, I want to invite you to move whichever way you want. Maybe circling your knees and your hips, maybe a few more twists, whatever it is that you need, maybe happy baby pose, to feel that the parts that need to be touched before we meditate are touched and acknowledged. Keep breathing as you do it. And then gently come to rest. Lying on the mat, make sure you're nice and warm. And you can let go of your breath control. Allow the breath to become more and more shallow. Gently, gently. Moving up and down your spine. And as you are lying there on the mat, visualize that earth chakra deep in the earth, long way below your feet. It glows, it sits there. It is there always. It is the source of our energy, the source of our ability to embody. You could call it mother energy, earth energy. Really make sure you become personally familiar with it. What does this look like for you? What color does it have? Is it like a vast fire? Is it like a big glowing ball? And the energy radiates up through your feet, into your body, around your body through your aura. And then bring your awarenesses touching into your heart. And then move your awareness up above your crown, way into the heavens. And there we have that cool, clear, divine center of conscious spirit, awareness, divinity. Again, really spend effort and time to know how this feels for you today. And allow that energy to come straight into your body. It sets alight your pineal gland, and you always have access to it. This divine spark, this spark of consciousness, of awareness, is with us at all times. We don't have to become enlightened, we already are. It is in us. It's what the masters say. And so as we are in contact now with these two polar opposites, allow yourself to become aware of your breath again, gently moving between the two energies, always connecting them, always mingling them into your very own unique color. And the place where it has most the place where this energy has most expression is in the heart. And so just allow yourself to feel your heart opening through your sternum and through your back down into the ground. And we now have not just a horizontal connection, we have a vertical connection to those same energies. And allow yourself to feel the growing out of your chest of a beautiful flower, reaching and being nourished, reaching for the heavens, being nourished by the earth. Give it a color. Texture. What kind of leaves and petals does it have? And on each of these petals of this flower are millions of tiny little hairs which produce a little droplet of this nectar. And this droplet flows down into the body, going along any pathway that's been opened, filling all the spaces that we have created through this practice, nourishing all of the cells that touch it. And so I'm going to attempt to play some music and allow the vibration of the music to move this energy deeper into your to actually become part of your tissue. Physically being permeated by that energy that we've been creating. So gently, I'm not sure, gently, hope you can hear me. Gently come back into this room. Take a couple of deep breaths. Move your fingers. Move your feet and toes. And come into a nice big body stretch, full body stretch. And come into sitting posture. Hands in the heart space. Rubbing your hands together. Sensations. And then from that flower in the heart, with the in breath, we stretch it up towards the heavens, down towards the earth, back into the heart space. Thank you for joining my practice.